Greetings everyone, my name is Raziel and today we are looking at Merir Astelan. Astelan is a very infamous warlord known for a very unique combo that can deal lots of damage. On top of this, he is also in a very infamous faction, the Defenders of Caliban, whose duplicitous shenanigans have driven many a player borderline insane. So what better warlord to build a deck around? This is my take on Astelan. The deck aims to profit off of Astelan's ability to destroy friendly troops on command, utilizing cards like Cast-Drag for board-wide buffs, and Dragon Yen, which basically gets healed for its full HP when sacrificed with Astelan's ability. Now, those of you with keen eyes will have noticed that a few specific cards are not included in this deck. There is no Blessing of the Four, no Pride of Caliban, and no Praetor Castiel. My reasoning for this is the following. As for Blessing of the Four, after the nerf it has basically just become a worse version of Strategic Mastery, so Cast-Drag just feels like the better option to me for this deck in particular. And for the Castiel Pride combo, the sad reality is that this combo is just no longer worth it in the year 2025. Think about it. Not only do you need to find the one copy of Pride of Caliban in your entire deck, but you are also relying on Castiel, a 6 energy 6/6 without any form of protection whatsoever, to survive the enemy turn. And that is just straight up never going to happen. Especially because at this point everyone knows just how dangerous Castiel can be with Astelan. Sadly, a lot of factions nowadays have too many tools to deal with Castiel, who also has the downside of providing next to nothing on his own without a board alongside him. Therefore, I feel like Astelan is better off just giving up on the combo entirely. The combo which you are realistically only getting the pieces for in like 1 out of 10 games anyways. Finally, there are probably a few people that will be confused as to why Vulturax Assault is in a Defenders of Caliban deck. You see, Astelan can spawn a 1 HP troop for 1 energy, which combined with Vulturax is always going to be a 2 damage AoE that can potentially deal even more damage or just straight up clear the entire enemy board if you manage to set it up right. Basically, this is a pseudo get out of jail free card, similar to how old Tacitus Proctor, which also used this card despite playing a very troop focused deck himself. Ultimately, I believe that Astelan has sadly been power crept over and over, to the point where he might be the worst Defenders of Caliban warlord that currently exists. His signature combo is unreliable and easy to deny. He overall is outclassed by the likes of Vassago and Zahariel when it comes to general no-gimmick swarm decks, and any cheesy blessing combos are just better with Cypher. Don't get me wrong, the Sudoku synergy is cool and all, and the deck certainly still works, it's just not as strong as the stuff the other warlords are doing. Anyways, that concludes the quick breakdown of the deck. If you want to read a deeper analysis on the deck, check out the deck paste with a written analysis, linked in the description. Also, join the Discord server, link is in the description as well. That was it from me. Enjoy the games.
All I ever wanted was the truth.
Your enthusiasm is commendable.
Life is my own. My death.
Oh, the screams I will wrench out of you.
I am pleased to make your acquaintance.
true selves when we stand in the dark.
Little to be salvaged here.